student at the Freie Universität Berlin. I recently finished my studies in Latin American and Francophone literature. And I just became a PhD student, so I didn't start writing, I just started my research and investigations. In my studies, or during my studies of French literature, I was really interested and worked a lot about Baroque poetics, Baroque lyrics, like Ronsard, Maurice and Charles. And then from this Baroque fascination, or from my own Baroque fascination, I came to in my Latin American studies, to the neo-baroque fascination. And I learned it in a real classical way at university. So I learned about Sadoui, about Les Samalines, about Carpentier. But I never learned about Francophone neo-baroque. I discovered this Francophone neo-baroque with Édouard Glissant when I met him, not in person, but at a literature festival in Berlin. In 2006 he was in Berlin, just for a kind of festival. And this was my first contact to his literature and his essays. And then I just wanted to know more about him. I studied him and his essays, theories, and that's why I made up the theory that he could be a neo-baroque author. So I found some parallels and similarities to the proven neo-baroque authors. This was my introduction. And with my presentation today, I'd like to give you some evidence for neo-baroque of the French Caribbean. And the next quotation, you will see, could have been my motivation to investigate about hispanophone elements in Francophone literature. Antilles, Amérique du Sud, c'est même recours au passé, même tension vers un avenir, même recherche d'une unité. It's from his book, L'intention poétique. So, I first like to give you a short introduction to Édouard Glissant, and then I will repeat some aspects we heard, we were mentioned by Hugh Hazelton about the proven Baroque style. In my third point, I will come to Glissant's neo-baroque poetics in one of his recent novels, Onward, from 2003. I don't know if you know much about Glissant. Glissant was born the 21st September 1928, so he was 80 years old. He's 80 years old since a few days, since about 1 week, I think. He was born in Martinique, Besaudon, and but studied in Paris and became a journalist and writer. So he wrote for several newspapers such as Présence Africaine, for example, and became editor-in-chief for the Courrier de l'UNESCO. He won several literary awards for his literary work, and he was really engaged for the independence of the Caribbean, which led to several arrests from 1959 on. And really recently, in 2006, he founded an institute in Paris, the Institut du Tout Monde. It's an institute for cultural exchange and research and investigation. Glissant has always been and still is in contact with other Caribbean authors and has, I think, a real important influence all about the Caribbean authors, such as Aimé Césaire and Patrick Chamoiseau. Glissant lived in France and Martinique and now lives in the United States, where he was or has been, I don't know, still is a professor for French literature, Francophone literature. And he's rather known for his essays, for theories, for his philosophy of relation, than for neo-baroque style. And this is a fact I like to change. Yeah, it's important. In his philosophy of relation, he relates Martinique and Ventolian Islands to the whole world, and the individual identity to a collective identity. The Antillean cultural identity is, as we all know, rooted in the Caribbean archipelago, which brings together different people, languages, and cultures. And this identity is what Glissant calls antillanité. I didn't translate it into English because I think it stands for its own. Antillanité has always been part of Glissant's work, and it includes the Francophone, Hispanophone, and Anglophone Caribbean cultures. Or in other words, it connects different cultural spheres. However, I think that his antillanité is more than a theory of identity. It is kind of Caribbean spirit, which connects the different Caribbean people. As Glissant claims for this quotation about the antillanité, ce que j'ai dit de l'antillanité, c'est, femmes et hommes de la Caraïbe, la volonté de rassembler et de diffracter les anti-îles qui nous confirment en nous-mêmes et nous rallient un ailleurs. So this is from his Poetics of Relation, Poétique de la relation. Glissant postulates similarities and relations in the Caribbean archipelago, which can be, for example, the common past, the lack of collective consciousness.
Yeah. Would you mind translating some of those quotations?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry. Yeah. I have yeah. Okay. Of course. I should have one here.
Oh, just like roughly. Okay. So.
No, I have the official traduction of this. What I said about antillanité, in this place where we, men and women of the Caribbean, rise up, represents quite simply the will to rely together and diffract onto islands, confirming us in ourselves and joining us to elsewhere. I can repeat this if you like. So just tell me. So all those similarities and relations build up what he is calling unité dans la diversité. I hope hopefully in English it will be unity within diversity.
Unity in diversity.
Unity in diversity, okay. So in conclusion, with this concept of antillanité, Glissant relates the French Caribbean culture to other cultures, for example the hispanophone culture, and Martinique with Cuba. I have another quotation. Such as he claims que ces îles et ces archipels se touchent entre eux et commencent de dialoguer avec ces continents. So I think there you can really see that he thinks of relating everything to everything.